Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Wednesday, the 15th of July. I am again sitting in Rob's chair and I am reading another one of his little books, Life's Little Instruction Book. And there's a couple of really cool things here that I'm going to use. First of all, this one, number 208, take your dog to obedience school. You'll both learn a lot. Well, yeah, that's happening. We did take Skunk to school, and none of us learned. We tried that when she was a little puppy last summer, and it just sort of went sideways. She was so enamored with all the other puppies and they with her that we just could not get her to focus. And she is still a little ruffian. She likes to jump up on people. She wouldn't hurt anybody and she doesn't bite, but she's 50 pounds of solid muscle. And when you're living on a street with a lot of retirement age people, which is where we live, she can be a bit of overwhelming, and she's become a bit of a terror. There are some who love Skunk when she comes walking down the street. Oh, there's Skunk. And there's other who huddle closer to their houses and say, oh, there's Skunk. So we also have a little problem in that she's a Houdini. She gets out of her collar and takes off and then can't be stopped. And when I was away, I think I was either in Gimli in June at the clergy conference, or I was up north at the Paw. She got away from Rob and she didn't stay in our neighborhood. She left. We live in an ungated neighborhood. Like there's pillars that say private property. It looks like it could be gated. It's not. But she got out and went down to an apartment building near the mall. And eventually she came back, to which we heard people screaming that she was attacking them. She was trying to love them. But she has become a bit of a holy terror. And so we need to train her. So we are going to take her, hopefully in August, while I'm on holidays. We're going to take her to one-on-one obedience training and see if we can harness some of her intelligence and energy, and indeed take our dog to obedience school. We'll both learn a lot. When I think about training Skunk and the possibilities, because we believe she is part Border Collie, part Belgian Malinois, which is both are working dogs. Both are dogs who are bred to go all the time. And border collies are notorious for never laying down. They kind of sit and look. And she sits and looks. Our old dog Dude, for those of you who remember, Reverend Dude, he was chill. He'd lay down, have a nap. Skunk seldom lays down until she's absolutely exhausted at the end of the night. She'll sit and stare at you. You see, she wants to work. Her job is to herd. When I get up to go to the bathroom or go in the kitchen or something, she'll come and nip my heels because she's trying to get me going. Um, the other day, I was trying to get her breakfast. Rob's off at camp, and I'm responsible for all of the dog things right now. I was trying to get her breakfast, and she jumped and she hit the middle of my back, just above my butt, um, with her face because she's trying to make me hurry up to get her food. She's a working dog. She's smart as a whip. And Belgian Malinois are often police dogs. They're very, very quick. They're often military dogs. Very quick, can be trained to attack, but can also be trained not to. And they're very, very, they jump like crazy. This dog, if she wants to, she can jump. I swear to God, she could jump 5 feet in the air. When she was a puppy, she jumped more than that, like more than she does now. But right now we have a king size bed up. It's a big bed, and it's got drawers underneath of the bottom, the foot, and so it's quite high off the floor. And if Rob's in bed and I take her out first thing in the morning, she can jump from the floor, like not a running jump, from standing still. She can jump from the floor and up over top of his body to land in the middle of the bed. Like it's got to be 4.5 or 5 foot clearance, and or at least four. But it's incredible, this dog, the agility this dog has. What's incredible also is the lack of agility her dad and I have. And we need to be trained. We need to learn how to help our 1-year-old dog. We need to learn how to interpret and understand Skunk. And she needs to learn how to interpret and understand us. Not because she's getting treats or not because she's going for a walk, but because we have a sense of mutual respect. And there's something really powerful when you see people out with their animals, whether it's dogs or horses. I'm sorry, if you're a cat person, I have never met a trained cat. So if it can be done, if cats can be trained to be, have a relationship, a mutually affectionate, and responsive relationship with a human being, good on you. I've never yet met a trained cat. So, for the dogs, dog lovers, and horse people out there whose animals are trained, God bless you. And you've obviously come to that place where you have an understanding of how to communicate with your pet or your animal. That's what we need to do with Skunk. But the fact is that I think that's something that this this truth about take your dog to obedience school, you'll both learn a lot, speaks to the world, speaks to all of us people as well. Because the fact is, we all need to go to obedience school. It's not that we all need to learn how to sit, stand, and stay, although there are times when working with kids and older people that there are times I want to teach them to sit, stand, and stay. But it's that we all need to learn how to obey social norms, the appropriate ones. Now, I acknowledge there are plenty of social norms in our day and age that are completely inappropriate, and we should be fighting against, standing up and saying, hell no, I won't go there anyway. Um, but there are things in life, old things that used to be what we called common sense, that we all need to go to obedience school for. Not just our dogs, but we need to for each other. Like things like holding doors open, or saying thank you or please. Listening. We all need to learn how to listen. I know I am a horrible person for this, but this happens to me all the time. I'm having a conversation with someone, especially someone I know pretty well. It's easier to have a conversation with a total stranger that you need to have a conversation with, that you know you need to have a conversation with because you don't know them, so you're not assuming things. We listen differently when we need to learn something about the person we're talking to. But when you know someone pretty well, it can be really difficult to actually listen to them, to hear what they're saying, because we're busy. We know what they're going to say. We've heard this story 1,000 times. We know how it's going to end. And in our heads, we're jumping forward to our next retort or our story or that statement or the question we're going to ask. We're not actively listening. And the fact is that we need to, because most times people don't actually tell the same story more than once. The story changes as they change. They say that when people are grieving, they need to tell their story like 1,000 times. That's probably exaggerated. But the idea is that each time they tell the story, they get to grieve a little bit. They get to grow a little bit more until the story that maybe the first day after their partner has died or a child has died and they're heartbroken and they're dripping their grief. By the time they tell that story 1,000 times, they're able to speak of it with a bit of a laugh over something funny that they couldn't see was funny before. Or they're able to talk about the situation with that much more perspective, but they aren't that emotionally involved as they used to be, or not in the same way. And as they tell the story each time, the story changes as they change until they're ready and they don't need to tell the story anymore, or at least not for the same reasons. It's a brilliant idea to take your dog to obedience school. You'll both learn a lot. It's true. But maybe we all need to go back to school. Maybe we all need to sit at the feet of a master who reminds us about the true things in life, about the way to treat each other with dignity and respect, about the ways to be patient when the world is flying by so quickly and it feels like nothing's happening the way it should. Over the years, as we get older, we forget that we all need to learn new things. Maybe we all need to go back to school. Maybe we all need to go back to obedience school. But really, shouldn't we all be learning a new thing every day? Just something to think about. Have a great day. God bless you. And I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.